So yesterday, 3 more of these got filled, and we went with still cooler weather crops. We can always pull or move lettuce. It germinates relatively quickly and grows very well. And so we went with broccolini, cabbage, some lettuce, kind of a hodgepodge of some of the plants that should grow relatively quickly. We found that in these smaller pots, I think we went through and cleaned up, so I don't have them right here. When I take you into the greenhouse, I'll show you. The starts that were in the smaller pots were actually small because their roots had outgrown the pots, and so hopefully these will grow quickly. So we had the kiddos helping. We have more pak choi. I'm not quite sure why the Blue Lake green beans got planted here. I'm gonna have to look into that. They kind of led the charge on planting, but maybe that'll be an okay spot. We'll see. We have newer starts. So these starts, the seeds were planted on 3/3. And this is where they're at now. And so we have others that were planted in April as we kind of close out April here. I can't believe it's going to be May. But we have these other starts that we can plant still. We may need a little bit more dirt in this one, and then we'll need dirt in this one. These two are going to have tomatoes and peppers. Particularly the peppers, it's just not warm enough to put them outside yet. The dirt needs to, or the ground needs to be 70 degrees for them to really take off. So for now, we're going to repot them into some bigger pots and keep them either in the potting shed or in our sunroom until it warms up a little bit more. This week, our highs are in the lower 60s, cloudy and some 50s, so it's really just not the best weather for that. This area, we're still waiting for those 2 planters, and then we've started emptying a number of the casks to lay it out a little bit. We know we're going to need probably another 1.5 yards of the cedar bark, and probably need to find some landscape fabric. We had repurposed landscape fabric that had obviously been put down right before the house was put on the market in areas that we want to be grass. But it looks like to fill in this area, we may need to find where it came from. So there's that. We will put down some cardboard here in the next day or so. It looks like, was this Swiss chard? Every once in a while we find a plant that was likely purposefully planted a long time ago and had gone to seed. Swiss chard had been the one that we had seen. We went ahead and picked it. Oh, there's a yellow jacket. Did you see that? Ooh. We found 2 black bees yesterday. And then you guys, you need to be a little bit mindful. There are yellow jackets in the grass. So make sure you keep your shoes on and don't roll around. All right, so today hopefully these, or at least one of these blueberry plants will get planted here. The ground is nice and soft from the rain. We do have more dirt, a little bit more dirt in the back of the truck, so we'll see how far that goes, but we'll have at least 1 more load. Then we still have 2 more apple bins. And so I think we'll be moving and starting to remove this kind of mound of rocks and broken pavers, and then it's dirt under. Maybe we'll find something. About a month ago, the kids were digging in this garden area, and they dug up some little carrots that were completely edible, and so we had them for dinner. So sometimes we have found surprises. We found some rotten seed potatoes and things like that. So maybe we'll find something interesting in here. We'll see. So blueberry will go here. And then we're going to work to clear out this area, shore up the fence, and we're going to put in some type of black privacy, either slats or something else in here. Beyond the fact that we have gaps in the fence, we have had neighbor, well, we have the chickens that are going under, but there is a dog that lives somewhere around here that breaks out of its backyard, and it has found our chickens. We've lost one rooster so far, and it seems to know where we are. The owner knows it comes and gets out over here because we saw them looking for it. So to kind of protect this side of our fence line, we're going to fill in the gaps and then make it so that you can't see through it. And then we're going to put garden here. Chickens don't usually hang out here. They like to hang out over here right now since we took out this tree and some of this brush. For now, the forsythia is going to, I guess, stay and get trimmed back. Like I said before, this yard is a hodgepodge of what used to be beautiful 2 layers of kind of plants with lower flowers and bigger evergreens, and it's not pruned. Plus, plants here grow like crazy. So figuring out what has been pushed out, what will still grow, and what we want to use for both privacy and what in this area we'll want to use for garden is kind of yet to be seen. But over here, we're going to put at least this one, this apple bin, in here. I think we're going to put zucchini in here, and then possibly an acorn squash. We always start our acorn squash from seed, and we end up with more plants than we need because we don't eat a lot of acorn squash. But when we do, it's delicious. And we actually tried purchasing some from the store since we got here. And the kids were like, what is this? This does not taste like acorn squash. So zucchini and acorn squash will probably go in here. 1 black beauty zucchini, 1 yellow squash, and then an acorn squash. Then we're going to clear out this brush, and now we're moving into the do you really have time for that this weekend? Because on Sunday we're going to pick up most of the remainder of our tomato cages and a number of other supplies that we had stored elsewhere to bring them back here. So I don't know, we'll see. I hope so, but again, there's only so many hours in a day. And then of course this apple bin, we're gonna see if it fits over in the mound. If not, we'll place it over there. So then when it starts raining and we're not outside, and it comes in waves, then we will probably head over to the greenhouse, and I would take you in there, but there are literally 4 people in there right now. My husband and the kids are in there beginning to repot, and I keep looking for those pots. So to make sure that we don't have plants that outgrow their pots, particularly the peppers, we're going to be replanting them from these, which I know they're supposed to be like single use, but we reuse them, to some of these big pots. And a lot of these big pots, there is a nursery about 20-30 minutes from here that has them in a bin that says recycled pots, and anybody can pick them up for free. And so even back in January when we just went to check out the nursery as something to do to get outside, we picked some up, and so the peppers and probably a couple of the tomatoes will get repotted in there. We also have to get more fencing. These guys are thornless blackberries, need to go in. So berries here grow profusely, but they're all thorned. And so removing overgrown thorned blackberries that just grow wild and replacing that with the thornless blackberries is on the list somewhere. But again, the list is long and the time is short, so we'll see how far we get, and then what is left. The list is long. Anyway, I get through these and I think, oh yeah, we're gonna get it all done. There's not that much to do. There's so much to do. I'm glad that we decided to focus on the garden with the raised beds this year, and then to put tilling and locating other garden beds on our property until next year. As hard as it is, because we're used to having a half an acre garden, this was the way to go. So I will, are they gonna step out of that greenhouse? No. I think they're staying out of my way while I record this. Oh, well. All right. Well, tomorrow, when I show you what we actually got done today, or possibly, I guess, Sunday, depending on how interesting what we got done today was, I will take you in there and I will show you the starts that were the peppers and the tomatoes that are replanted, and hopefully show you the last two apple bins completed that are not part of the side yard that I showed you, where we have to clear out all the brush still. So that's it for today. Hopefully day 7 we'll be able to say, wow, we're almost done. We'll see.